In short, I left because Ari Princev wants to build a house for himself, but I thought, I like to bid at home, I'll do something interesting. The criteria were such that the fastest possible stress-free shooting was built, some unusual shooting and the mandatory presence of a cube and a bunker in the main. I made such a house, I even liked it, but guess who took off the survival in it? Herons. I don't know how they agreed about it, but I definitely didn't expect such an outcome from his survival. But it's better for me, I now know all its disadvantages and am ready to show you its improved version. All the same, a cube, shooting, a lot of boxes and, the most significant difference, the opportunity to make a high-quality territory with combat spawns and turrets. In fact, this house is a copulation of a house stove from me and a house survey of the penultimate video. I even managed to live in it, I went as far as possible. I'll show you everything now. I have reinforced this house with the chips that clans usually use. Let's start with the gate. Being in it, you can shoot those who are in your territory. And also, just by breaking the straw foundation, you can put an additional multi-cabinet to the house. This is a pretty cool feature, especially if you don't like to build multi-cabinets. I don't like it and I always do. If they start hitting you on the doors, then after the time has elapsed, you will be able to build up quietly, and even there will still be an opportunity to shoot. Well, if they decide to go through the walls, it will be their mistake. Not only will they not be able to go further because of the stove and they will have to get rid of it, so there will also be turrets that will help you in protecting your home, but you should not be a creep. Let's go back to the house. As you understand, there are really a lot of turrets in this house, and in this video I will show you how to connect absolutely all the electrics in this house as cheaply as possible. This house is completely symmetrical, we have gates on both sides, and there is a spawn battalion between them. It will be very difficult for you to kill in such a small crack. We have only one entrance to the house itself and it leads directly to the second floor. This house has several advantages at once. The most significant thing is that if you have the resources to build this house, it will take you, well, 10 minutes. At first, this shooting will help you a lot for your survival, but even then this shooting will not be useless. You will be able to fight clans on a raid, one has already been added, but you will have a territory, you will even be able to fight. I think it's not even worth talking about a huge number of boxes, there are only more tests under shooting than some in the whole house. Do you also have an atmospheric attic? You can also put doors here, they are not visible from the outside at all. In general, you will not have to throw loot on the ground. The basis of this house is 2x2 and I have already lived in this house once. By the way, I had the same layout in the house as you see now. There were 3 of us, it was convenient. The couch is also bullshit. This is if all the external buildings are connected to the house. Well, the MVK cube, where without it, I don't know why I've never used it before in my survival, but in general I need a chip, I use it right on a regular basis, I don't complain. The basis of this house is 2x2 with triangles. I recommend building a house somewhere on a hill, so that when you start to be surrounded by walls, you have them as if lower and do not close the shooting. I will improve everything in the final version, you can do everything gradually. The initial stage of this house is completely suitable for comfortable survival. Stoves, workbenches and sleeping bags, there is a place for everything, there will not be a place for any garbage yet, so if your team there is a discharged yoki likes to store, then you will have to put it out the door, well, or farm it to send it to expand, which we will do now. Here, without any complicated manipulations, we just build up walls along the 2x2 edging. But there is no need to put a ceiling on the second floor, because there will be a rise to the attic in the near future. Well, you won't have a door here either, because there is no garage yet, you can't get out through the double door, so we put the door, but higher. And so, please note that I did not put the ceiling over the door, you should have the same. Right under the rise you will have additional chests, that's where they can put the discharged yokes. You can get inside the house through straw, for the first time I think it is tolerable. Next, if you want the house to be convenient to use, you need to look carefully. We put one wall directly opposite the lift and one wall in this place. We forced the rest of the area simply with double doors. In the future, one door will be our exit from the house, and the other 3 will be the exits to our shooting. Make the doors open as if inside, so it will be more convenient. But you never know if they will kill, it will be easier to close, well, you understand. But it also looks like this from the outside. If you really want another bunker here, then you can put an offset, but this is not necessary at all. Now the sweetest thing in this house is shooting. This is generally the simplest thing I've ever built. 3 triangles, there are 3 half walls, then 3 sides, cover with triangular frames and put triangular roofs. It would seem everything, but that's the way it is. We add a shelf, a bonfire on it and you can already shoot back. It's not very safe, though they can wait for you here with a 2-piece, but this problem will go away later, this is a hole. From 2 sides we need to do the same, but why not from the remaining 3, if the house is symmetrical? I explain, because on the one hand we will have the main entrance to the house and there we will need to do a little differently. Right in the center, from the bottom we have to put the workpiece under the triangular hatch. This will be your main entrance to the house. And so in general, except for this moment, everything is built similarly. And when you have done everything from all sides, you can already remove the double doors. And now we can say that you have a full-fledged shooting. We add ceilings and use them to the maximum. By the way, when we were playing, we even shot down a helicopter from such a shooting, and I don't know if it's a tank or a feature, but the helicopter didn't hit with shots at all, but opposite the volley from the missiles, we flew off 1 or 2. But in general, what am I talking about? You will try to shoot down a helicopter. If indeed he does not shoot through this shooting, then this is generally an imbula. The new skins that have been added are not used in shooting, otherwise there will be no sense in it, because there is not this kind of barrier there. Also, look, I already noticed on the installation, you can get through here, where we are now. To prohibit them from doing this, it is necessary to put an additional door at the bottom, that is, to already make a full-fledged entrance to the house, which I had on the runter. Well, a temporary rise will be through the straw. It is quite convenient to use, if anything, you can break it. You have done the shooting, the territory is not planned yet, so we need to expand. From the outside, it all looks like this. Next, look, on each side we add 1 triangular buffer so that absolutely everywhere before our 2x2 basis there are at least 2 walls. Just don't accidentally build up the wall in the middle, because, for example, we will have a door on this side, we will have an entrance to the house here, but there will be turrets on the other sides. You can climb through the stove. Someone will say that you can put a hatch, but I don't like it. We will have turrets in all the recesses of the house, as it were. I will show you how to connect them later. While you don't have them, you can just stick the doors so that her hands don't know where to sit. If it comes to that, then even for the place of the stove, you can also use a turret as a lift. But I must say right away, it will be a little more difficult to jump in. You have made the foundation of the house, well done. The outside is a typical 2x2. Now let's make an M territory, where we have an entrance and on the opposite side we will have a spawn battalion. They are built as simply as possible. Most importantly, do not accidentally improve the first straw foundation, because you never know, after watching my video you will want to build a multi-cabinet, and it will be very easy to do, I will show. The last thing left for us to do in the combat room is to put a loophole and add a shelf in the middle of the window, so as to make a smaller pixel. Well, don't forget, our house is completely symmetrical, which means that on the other hand we have to do the same. If you are interested in why I first decided to build a combat room, and not the entrance to the territory itself, then I will say that an extra bed has been sleeping, and even more so a bed. This is very important. And the sooner it appears, the better. Even if you don't have a territory, and there will be a bed, it's very good. That's what kind of opinion I have on this score. Put the turrets if possible, I'll show you the connection later. Now we have to put an entrance to the territory between our combat rooms. The only difference is that we will have a double door for the place of 1 wall. Otherwise, there are no changes at all. It is being built quickly, it is inexpensive, I really like this option very much. What a symmetry. The house looks beautiful, it's a real buzz. I'll show the walls later now, too, how beautifully they should be put. Well, if you have finished building the gate on the one hand, then on the other hand we have the same thing. We will also discuss multi-cabinets with you later. As for the walls, I would recommend putting wooden ones. Purely from an aesthetic point of view they look better, and with them there is a great chance that you will be raided through them, and this will be most unprofitable for the raider, so I would leave them wooden. Near our turrets, you need to put first such wooden foundations, at least wooden ones. Because after you put up the wall, this foundation may not be put up, and we will need it very much later. I leveled the wooden wall along the wall that was on the left, then installed it without touching the mouse and then put the next one in the same way. Your reference point is that there should be a 90-degree angle between them. Then between these wooden frames, here we have made the blanks, we have to put a large stove. It is placed from here, from another place it will not work. Well, then be sure to check that you can't get through anywhere here, put nets there. And already at this point, you can improve these foundations into stone. From the other sides, we do absolutely the same thing. I had no problem surviving even on the most curved surface. But I kind of forgot to put these foundations, but you must put them. Even though I have them now, it may be different for you. Little do you like when everything is beautiful and you will be hammering straight. I don't want that. Well, when you have already done everything, your house will have such outlines. However, it will be possible to get attached to you, as you can see. That's why I recommend putting 2 thorns on each gate. In order for them to be installed, we need additional straw ceilings. As the thorns are installed, these ceilings can be broken. You need to make such a joke from each side. That is, in total you will need 8 such barricades. This, if my memory serves me right, is 16 blades. Now with regard to electricity, I recommend that the electrician be placed where we have an entrance to the territory. A large battery needs power from 1 windmill and 2 solar panels for 9 turrets. Also, it should have been done earlier, we have been able to close our attic with roofs here for a long time. They are placed from the bottom, then you can improve from the top. The attic can be done, if anything, before you started building the territory. Here, as it were, you put a dividing wall and then frames for double doors. As a rule, these chests are not reached on the raid. In general, the more garage there is in the house, the better. But it's also not worth putting them everywhere, because garages tend to be constantly open, which means you can be very easily pinched, so at least leave a couple of double doors anyway. For those who did not understand, look, it is in this place that turrets are placed. If desired, they can even be put in 2 layers, but I honestly would not do that, there will not be much sense from this. In total, we have 8 turrets on the territory and 4 more turrets in the house. 2 windmills will be enough for this business with your head. This turret is also not bad here. Agree, a completely finished dome looks very attractive. For turrets, you need a large battery and 1 medium one. And now I will show you all the schematics of connecting these babies. 9 turrets on a large battery and 4 on an average. Let's start at 9. We put a switch, a black strum and 4 splitters. No, it's not very much, now you'll see everything. From the battery power to the switch, from the switch to the strum, we put 96 on it, the left input, pull on the first splitter, it has 3 outputs and we connect 3 more splitters, and from these splitters we connect the turrets themselves directly. All 9 turrets will be on your territory, so I suggest powering them from the main battery. As you can see, they all earned, so I did everything right. If we analyze, we even have 2 free units of energy, you can power the light bulb. Next, the average battery, we will also need a switch, already 2 strums and 1 splitter. From the batteries, the switch, from the switch to the strum, we always put 31 on it, this is the energy that will pass through it. The left port is in the splitter and we connect the turrets. Next, we take the right port and pull the next strum into the next one, we set 10 there and connect the last turret, pull the switch and watch, the sound appeared, so there are no errors. In this case, by the way, we have 6 units of energy in stock at once.
Some kind of half-assed buh. I'm looking to dig and claw and it's me.
Well, now mulch cabinets. To make it, you just need to break this straw foundation, then put 4 square foundations, a triangle, and you can install a cabinet on this triangle. Here is the simplest multi-cabinet for 1 rocket.